I mean, just tell me when to go.
We are ready when you are.
Well, good morning.
I had an amazing childhood in Australia. Was brought up not by kangaroos, but, quite suburban, in fact.
What have you learned from each other?
To eat less. Nasty Mr. 14 has crept in. And
she is a nightmare. For full transparency, I've never listened to a podcast.
We know. Hello. Have
we got anyone still here? This is Everyone Loves My Mother, a new podcast brought to you by me, Alice Naylor-Leyland, and my quite annoying mother, Serena Fresson.
Fair enough. But let's just say, I wasn't in any of the naming meetings, but I don't think Everyone Loves My Daughter ever came up as a possibility. I'm just saying. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Kind as ever. But I'm glad you're showing your true colours 1 minute in.
Anyway,
showing your competitiveness, true
I'm
colours.
not competitive.
But we are here because everyone does love you. And we thought that we would introduce you to a new podcast brought by a mother-daughter who not only just kind of live together, love each other, but also work together. So it is an unusual relationship.
Unusual.
We are here to talk about everything, anything, and kind of nothing all at the same time.
And I'm open to ideas. If people want to DM me, slide it in. Just any ideas. We'll talk about it.
It's going to be, there's going to be beauty, there's going to be fashion, but there's also going to be a little bit of grit, a little bit of stuff we care about.
Yeah, we might. I'm advising you that we will steer away from a few subjects.
Like?
Well, I would like to steer away from my boyfriends, but clearly, as I've already had a piece of paper saying I've got to talk about that.
Yeah, divorce would be good. But
I think politics are a no-go, Alice.
Politics are a no-go. So if you are here thinking we're going to talk about politics, maybe tune into someone.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
It's not our forte. But there's fertility, there's business, there's hair's a big one.
Well, maybe you should explain what today's episode is about.
Well, today's episode, obviously, because it's called Everyone Loves My Mother.
Yeah. You're not meant to swear. They'll have to beep that out.
Really? Well, I do swear.
Oh, I have heard swearing on podcasts.
If you don't know me, I do swear. But we today are going to talk about, because everyone does love you.
I know, it is strange. I'm the first to admit it's strange.
Yeah.
I think I'm more relatable. I think it's a weight-related thing mainly.
Well, we're going to talk about you, the mothership,
okay,
and a little bit about me. But yes, it could be about weight.
A lot about weight.
But it wrinkles, weight, but really a little bit about your story.
And a lot about yours.
For people who don't know you, who are you?
I'm still unsure. Still looking for that person.
I think you found yourself. You look like you found yourself.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why are you wearing rollers?
Well, the team told me to, but it is a signature style of mine.
Yeah, and it's actually not contrived. She genuinely turns up at the airport wearing her rollers because she wants her hair to be intact for when we arrive at the location, which
extends
quite
the longevity
mortifying.
of my blow dry.
Yeah.
And let's face it, we go to places, blow dries are difficult.
Yeah, well, you get embarrassed when I have arguments with people on the plane, but I find it more embarrassing to have to travel with you with those.
I have no problem traveling with these. Get used to it.
We wanted to just very quickly, every episode, tell you succinctly what we are wearing. And I understand some people might be watching this, but way more people will be listening. So, Mum, what are you wearing?
Well, I'd like to clarify a few points
Keep it
first
short.
about that. Number one, I have to wear a different outfit every episode.
Correct.
Number two, who's paying for that?
You.
My salary does not suggest that's going to be possible. So I'm just telling the audience that you will be seeing me in this again.
Okay, don't play the impoverished mother.
I'm just saying.
Your wardrobe is actually bigger than mine, physically.
And I'll tell you for why. I have been size, let's say 6, 8, 10, 12, and even sometimes nasty Mr. 14 has crept in, and that is the honest truth.
UK sizing
that is the
people.
Honest truth.
So that's going up to a US 20.
True. I was a big girl. Anyway, that is why because I don't know who I'm going to be. Anyway, on to today's
So you keep all your clothes of all your sizes?
I have something called a hope drawer.
We all have that.
But next week is fashion.
Next week is fashion. But this week, what size are you? Actually, that's good because your sizes might vary.
I'll tell you what. Okay, so today I'm wearing, for those who are not watching, I'm wearing a navy blue and white pinstripe suit, which is from Marks and Spencer's, but designed by Bella Freud. Now, there's a coincidence.
It is a coincidence.
Serena, you look like a 1950s businessman.
Woman, well, that wasn't the look I was going for.
In a frilled shirt and rollers.
I was going for
Surprising.
I was going for the look of a podcast celebrity. today.
I think you look like that. And you got a frilled
And it's
shirt.
a size 10.
Frilled
It's
shirt.
a tiny bit snug. I feel a tiny bit, as my son once said, cramped. But no, it's a size 10.
Yeah.
And I've got my shirt is white and frilled cuffs. I've got very long arms, which is very annoying. From the
doesn't
Shirt
have
Company, which is a British brand.
Do you know that your arms are literally just the span of your height? So you can't have long arms.
I have long arms.
Well, then you must have a very narrow body.
Be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. Anyway, and then my shoes were given to me by my great, great, great best friend Rachel from New York, and they're velvet. What would you call those? Mary Janes?
Yep. By who?
Alexandre Berman from New York.
Well, it's a great look.
Thank you.
And everyone loves your glasses. Who do they buy?
Now, I mean, I am going to use. Ryan. Ryan, where's the camera? Ryan. Happy to do a collaboration.
Mum, don't be salesy. This is not what we're about.
This is what I'm about. If I'm going to wear a different outfit every week, every
Jesus
episode,
You
I'm
can't
going to
stop her.
I'm going to collaborate all the way along. So get used to it. When I've got some favorite brands coming along. Anyway, these are from a company called Ryan Simkhai, Kai, and the style is Logan, because I get asked
Put them on.
constantly.
They're great. Their signature.
I know their signature.
Is it
Anyway.
because you're old? You can't see. No, I'm actually interested. Is it because you can't read?
It helps with my reading. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that happens at what age?
Probably 58.
Oh, Jesus.
You've got so much. I tell you, you've got so much to look forward to.
So
If there was,
what's Alice wearing?
oh yes, here's a coincidence.
The coincidence is I am wearing the original Bella Freud suit
Well, you're
before she
wearing
did the M&S collab, which
expensive one.
I'm very pro the M&S collab.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a 3-piece cream Bella Freud suit. It's made of wool, actually. It's great. My husband doesn't like it when I wear the waistcoat. I'm wearing a very old Gucci belt with it and a Zara white shirt with a kind of fake bow tie, little bit
It's almost a bit Western.
It's a
what
bit
you're wearing, because
Western.
you're wearing your boots
I'm wearing brown cowboy boots. I live in
Yeah,
cowboy boots.
you do.
You look like a cowboy that's never been sort of
on a
outdoors.
horse. On a horse.
That's kind of actually me. I look like I'm this outdoorsy kind of.
You don't look outdoorsy.
Really?
Trust me, not one bit of you looks
You
outdoorsy.
were not
Alice.
outdoorsy.
What about me this morning with the puppy?
I was impressed. I was
out-
impressed.
out in the
I
rain,
was impressed.
6:45.
She went out in the rain, 6:45.
Okay, well, let's not talk about what we're wearing anymore, but that is going to happen
Every
week.
week. So I'm gonna
I'd love
put-
to know, you actually had a kind of different start to your life. You were born in Australia
In Melbourne.
and you are completely Australian.
I'm as Australian as anyone could be.
Your grandmother was actually Danish.
She was Danish,
which
but
is
you
kind
know,
of why we all look like we do.
Yep.
We found that out when we did that.
DNA thing.
DNA
yeah.
thing.
Well, I knew that before.
And
but
so
yeah.
where in Australia did you
I was
grow up?
born in Melbourne on the 8th of September 1960. Gifts accepted. And
She is a nightmare. I'm so sorry if you've already logged out. She just wants free.
yeah, is anyone listening? Hello.
Have we got anyone
there?
still here?
Anyway, yeah, 8th of September 1960 in September. So that is the spring in Australia. And I,
Keep the viewers interested.
well, I was born in the spring in Australia, in Melbourne,
Mm-hmm.
at a hospital called the Mercy. I was my parents' first child.
Favorite?
I wouldn't like to say that because my sisters might be listening. No, of course I'm not their favourite. And yeah, I had an amazing childhood in Australia. Was brought up not by kangaroos, but just actually we were brought up. It was quite suburban, in fact, when we were brought up.
Why do you
And
say kangaroos?
Well, just was an idea. Kangaroos.
Did koalas kind of give you tea?
No. We were brought up in a very sort of residential part of Melbourne
Very hot.
in the summer. But Melbourne is
We
the
should-
most
yeah.
like a sort of European city. So you have winters in
You've
Melbourne.
got such iconic photos of you all there. You're always, I'm so interested, like beautifully dressed.
Yes, we
It
had
was-
smock dresses.
Yeah. And what age did you move over here?
When I was 13, I came to boarding school, which I actually found. We're not going to turn this into some deep, heavy podcast, but
Well, why not?
Because that's
You
not,
don't talk about your feelings. This is a good
I
moment
do
to.
talk about my feelings.
No, you don't.
And
It's not everyone loves their feelings.
No, it's everyone loves my
You.
mother. Anyway, my point is, I came over with my family. My father was following his career, and I went to boarding school. And it wasn't sort of on. I had, it was a sort of obviously it was planned, but I didn't know this was coming down the tracks. That I would be going from a lovely school called St. Catherine's, which was in Toorak, all girls, to a very cold boarding school in Ascot. Is this interesting for the viewers? Do you think?
Well, I think you now need to ask me questions.
I'll
is
ask you.
the point.
That would be really interesting. So the thing is, I was with you at the next stage. So you were born
I was actually born in Geneva, in Switzerland.
at a hospital called
Hôpital du Lac? Okay, well,
Hospital de la Tour.
okay, well, you just haven't told me. See,
I
she
have
doesn't
told
tell
you.
me stuff about
It was
my
Hospital
childhood.
de la Tour. Anyway,
It was a brief moment there.
we were barely, our feet barely touched
We
Swiss
were
soil.
we were in and out.
We were in and out. It was one of those in and out, everything. Marriages.
Yeah, it was
out.
quick. We were then how many months in?
Serena, are you saying your first marriage was sort of
Short one.
A short one.
short?
Very short. I mean, he's not on Instagram, is he? Does he
not.
listen to podcasts?
We very much hope not.
I very much hope not, because I will have to.
Apologise for this.
I'm not going to
public.
apologise. If then it's a apologise, it's coming from him. And I'm hugely fond of him, of course. But no, it was all very short.
It was all short. So we lived in Geneva. I was born there, and then quite quickly, as in when we say quite, 2-3 months
Yeah,
in,
you were tiny.
we were in London in a beautiful flat in Chelsea, in Cadogan Gardens. We can say now because we don't live there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, 'cause
we
wouldn't that be
had
annoying if we were sort of famous enough that people wanted to find us?
Yeah, that would be. But we don't want to be famous. But anyway, we
Why are we
grew
doing a
up and we had a
podcast
very idyllic time. It's I missed that funny joke. What was
Your
it?
mother has other plans, Alice.
Of course, I'm joking.
And you know, it was growing up in London. I mean, I saw as much grass as kind of.
Alice, we lived in Cadogan. I used to take you to Cadogan Square every day.
I'm saying that's as outdoorsy as we were. We had a little terrace and I stood on it and I wore kind of bloomers for sport.
Yeah,
and
well, it was
a
dream childhood. What are you talking about?
It was the dream, just you and I together.
We did. We had fun.
We did. Do you know one of the funniest memories of my mum that is, in those days, denim didn't have any. I
Denim?
should say this in the fashion episode, but I'm saying it now. Denim didn't have any like lycra in it. I
stretch.
think didn't have any stretch, and I really wanted. Most fond memories I have of that house, that flat, was Mum lying flat on the bed, trying to get her jeans on with a coat hanger.
Yeah,
and she'd
totally
pull
normal.
the coat hanger up
Totally normal.
to try and close the jeans.
Wait till you see I'm going to wear another episode. I'll need more than that. I'll need a forklift truck.
But anyway, we had a happy time. We'll go into that kind of probably in more detail another time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also went to school in Ascot, boarding school in Ascot.
Hardest. I'm going to say that was one of the hardest days of my life, dropping you off. And we forgot your duvet. It was the day of Princess Diana's funeral.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we forgot your duvet. And I was like, that's it. It's over. She doesn't need to go to boarding school. I truly found it the hardest thing. And all these other parents were having drinks with their headmistress, cocktails. I was like, this is the worst day of my life.
Yeah, it is a bad day. But I think this is an interesting point, though, because people don't really understand why we go to boarding school or why we send our children to boarding school. And the funny thing is, as someone who has sent their children to boarding school and went to boarding school, it is this oddity because it's incredibly good fun. As a child, you always want to be on a sleepover. And it really is a long...
Yeah, I don't regret
long-term
sending you
sleepover.
at all. And all my other children went. But I did find it very difficult.
But also, I think the point is, if any child doesn't want to go, you wouldn't go.
No.
It's a choice thing. And actually, I found that my children who have the choice to board choose to do it when it's like a flexi situation.
So, Serena, where do you got up to in your life story?
Married, divorced. We're going to skirt around boyfriends. We could do a whole episode on boyfriends. Which
You had quite a few between.
I mean, the whole
Serena,
boyfriend
the
thing
boyfriend-
is you've dragged
Serena,
me through the mud.
Serena, the boyfriend episode is planned. Don't you
Okay,
worry.
so-
it is coming.
Anyway, but we were on our own for about 8 years, weren't we?
Yep.
And I remarried. I met my second husband, who owned a hotel called Number 11 Cadogan Gardens, which was opposite where we lived, and went on to have 3 other children. You went to boarding school.
You moved to the country. You became a country person just.
I think that's a bit strong.
So Alice was what you might call abandoned.
No, she wasn't abandoned.
I was a bit abandoned, but that's
You
fine.
were not. Do you see a therapist?
Do you would never allow me to. Do you remember when you did talk about moving to Australia?
Yes, I did. And then I didn't.
There's never been a formal apology on that.
No, because I didn't move.
Yeah.
But I did think about it. And then I realised it'd be too hard for you.
For those listening, there's a kind of, you can feel the slight abandonment. But listen, we still get on. And, good news, you can feel abandoned. Things turn out okay.
Things all,
Yeah. You moved to the countryside. And how did that feel from going from Australia to London?
I was used to it. It was another
You were
move.
used to
It was,
change.
and I think also I had 4 children, 3 young children, and we lived in Chelsea. And it was just time to get those little people out into the green fields. And so
But you didn't really embrace country life. Do you
No.
remember when the bat flew into our room, one of the first days we were there?
Yes.
And we just hid under the covers for quite a long time.
But my husband does embrace the country, so it's a very good balance.
Well, I suppose then I went to university. I went
Yes.
to Edinburgh.
Yes.
I read history there. I had a great time.
When did you meet Tom? We can never really work this out, can we?
I was 16. I'm married to a man called Tom, who's part of this whole like love triangle.
He's
There
known
really
as
are.
Mr. Alice.
Yeah, there are 3 in this marriage, and let's be honest, he prefers you to me.
He
But
does.
that-
That's
but
100% sure.
that's fine.
I'm officially the producer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
I'm
that's
a
right.
producer of this. But I met Tom when I was 16 at a party. He came to my 17th birthday with only like 20 people. And it took 4 years for us to kind of get together. And
Mm-hmm.
we started dating when I was 21. And at 24, I got married, which really is bonkers. And I wouldn't advise it to anyone.
You were actually 24. And in fact, I mean, the person, our lovely wedding planner, if he is listening, William Bartholomew, shout out to you. You were a nightmare.
No, Serena, he is in therapy. So
He is probably. I remember you actually went up to him and apologised for your behaviour. No, you did, and it was very nice of you to do that. But
Also,
it
like,
was
just
one of
realised
the
I was
worst
24 in like
6
20
months.
days. I was really only just
You were,
24.
you were
Basically 23.
You were a difficult bride.
I don't think I was.
Okay.
So I got kind of snatched by, I was like a child.
Yeah, child bride.
And I lived in London, and then he took me up to a place called North Yorkshire, which is really far north and very cold and very dark, but beautiful and dramatic. And we had 2 very happy years there, but I did kind of
Miss home.
miss home. And I remember crying like on the streets talking to you.
Yeah, I remember your Kenwood broke, and so I sort of drove it up that afternoon. It was
What's a
like a
Kenwood?
4.5. It's a mixer. It's a domestic appliance.
I was a long way. So then we kind of found a middle ground and moved to Cambridgeshire.
Where we are today.
Where we are today. And
We
now
won't
we're
give
here.
the address, though.
We will not give the address because of all that fan mail coming your way. There could be a few ex-boyfriends. Mum does get DM'd on
For
Instagram by
God's
her
sake, I
ex-boyfriends.
do not. Please. Anyway, let's move on. What's the next?
She gets so many letters. She's like Harry Potter at the beginning. They literally start flying in through,
It's true, they do.
It's
through the
not.
chimney piece, through the letterbox.
Actually, if possible, don't DM her because she then doesn't work as hard. She's constantly replying to people on DM. So please, if you're listening,
Lovers in every
could you
port, in
stop
every county.
DMing my mother. Because she feels she has to reply to you, which I've tried
But
to
I like to
explain on
reply.
Instagram. You don't
I
reply
do,
to everybody.
because they're so kind.
Yeah, well, that would be a full-time job. But maybe, as we've discussed a little bit about our beginning, we should have a little moment to talk about what we're going to talk about every week is a kind of...
Best moment or meltdown of the week.
What's your best moment? What's your meltdown?
Do you know, I remembered the answer about 10 minutes ago, and now I've forgotten.
I'll tell you
What's
my
yours?
meltdown then. So I go to London to do this whole let's try and keep looking young and try and do all these
It's working, Alice.
rejuvenation.
I have to say, whatever you're doing, it's working. And we're going to. I think we'll give a whole episode to that, and I will interview you on your skincare regime because it's fantastic.
Serena, it's working for you too.
Well, you're very kind, Tom. I think the film will suggest otherwise. But anyway, on you go.
Never had such a compliment from my mother. Anyway, I'm going down to try and do all the skin rejuvenation
yes.
malarkey, which I think you should do if I'm honest, but we'll talk about that another time. And I'm in there and I've had injected some anaesthetic into my eyes to...
Did that hurt?
A little bit, but I mean,
Injected into your eyes,
well,
not your
injected
eyeballs.
into under my eyes.
checking.
And it numbs the skin. And I wait for quite a long time because all I'm trying to do, is some laser. Just laser under the eyes to try and get rid of a little bit of these wrinkles. And halfway through, she comes in and says, "You have a cold sore, you've got herpes."
That is
you
a
can't,
nightmare.
We cannot do this laser.
Wait,
you could go blind.
Alice, you've got herpes.
I've got herpes, yeah, but just on my lips.
But
You could go blind. And you are someone
And
who likes
it was
taking
Georgie
risks.
Williams. She's great. And she was absolutely right. And I'm a risk taker. And she said it's not safe. So that really was a
but
bit of a
isn't
small
herpes
meltdown. No, Tom, it's just a cold sore. I don't have...
herpes is a
So that was the
STD.
bad thing that happened. No, Tom.
Sorry.
And then what was a good thing that happened?
The good thing that happened was my third child turned 7. And he was very brave and held lots of spiders and snakes. And he actually had a little bit of arachnophobia, but held a tarantula. And I was just
that's-
really
yeah.
proud.
So-
And I think it's great when your children are the worst parts of you they're good at. So, I'm terrified of those things. And it brings me such joy to see them doing
Overcome
something
it.
that I would
Yeah.
be just
Yeah.
so bad
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's why I love you being thin. It's true.
It's my greatest achievement.
Why do you like her being thin?
Because I just, I admire her. I mean, like, today
There's other things to admire me for, Mum. No?
There are loads of things, but that's one thing. You're so disciplined, Alice. Like today I've just had a salami and cheese sandwich because we were all hungry because this setting up the podcast. Let me tell you, anyone thinking of setting up a podcast, it's a big job.
It takes longer than you think.
It's longer than you think. I don't know. It's about to be dark. Anyway, and so I was, passed very sweetly by Daisy a salami and cheese sandwich. Absolutely. Oh, bring out the merch, Alice. Absolutely delicious. And then Alice probably had a sort of throat lozenge or something. That's why you look like you look.
Moving on. What was
I can't remember.
Meltdown. You're always having meltdowns.
Well, I'm upset with British Airways.
Why?
Because I'm going to lose my card.
We love British Airways, Mum.
Listen, I really, I'm just going to tell you. Where's the camera there? British Airways. I'm your girl.
Oh, but she's doing
Look,
it again.
navy
I'm
blue.
so sorry.
Could trim it in red. I am absolutely your girl. But I am disappointed that I'm going to lose one of those great cards. And why is that because?
You don't fly anymore.
Why?
I don't know.
Because I've had 2 new shoulders.
Okay. You're ill.
I've been unwell. Okay. So I can't believe they're going to take it away. I'm not going to get that, proudy part, off you go into, it's just going to...
That's your meltdown.
Yes, it's really depressing.
Okay.
And then my favourite lipstick has now been discontinued.
Which one's
by MAC.
that?
Love You Back. Once again, would consider a collaboration. By MAC. So that's MAC.
You're going to be very busy with all these
Marks and
collaborations,
Spencer's.
Serena.
Yeah, I am. Listen, I'll be so busy. I won't be doing this podcast.
And any great moment of the week for you?
Oh, yes, actually. And it's a really small thing. And I'll speak quickly because it won't resonate with many people. But I went to London to see my physio and have lunch with some friends. And I got parking spaces everywhere I wanted to go.
You always say that if you get a parking space, it means you've done something good.
Yeah, and it really gave me great joy. Everywhere I went, I was like, hello, there it is. Outside my doctor's office, outside my lunch, outside the head. It was just...
Well, I suppose you are disabled now.
I'm not disabled. Actually, there I could get a disabled
You could definitely get a disabled
badge.
badge.
Another thing I'd love, but I'm not going to tell you that because that's illegal. Anyway, so back on to a little bit more about us. I have 4 children. How many children do you have, Alice?
I have 4 children.
Age range?
Same as yours. It's an
11... You're 40.
Yes, but
you don't have a 40-year-old.
It's an 11-year span, interestingly,
from
both of us, from our first to our fourth.
Yeah.
So I have a 13, 10, 7, and 1-year-old.
Nearly 2 in April.
Nearly 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But, having 4 children with an age gap makes it a lot easier. You must have found when you had your younger 3 all quite close together.
I think, I'm mixed on this. I think having a big age gap, as you have, can be difficult. But also I think having no age gap, as mine were very, very close together. Then
but you didn't read with them or anything?
I did.
Were you... Not really. Not really. I think it's harder. I think that you can't focus on them.
I know what you mean. It can
I would be an
little bit
appalling
chaotic.
mother. Yeah, I'd be an appalling mother if they were closer in age.
Exactly. So I am going to make us refilm this whole thing if I'm looking fat in this.
Mum, stop talking about being fat.
But I'm like, it feels like it's pulling in.
Serena, you're looking great.
What was your hardest part of raising all of us, bar my dad leaving?
I don't think I found it very hard. I do think, though, the older your children get, it does continue to be difficult, and it can become more difficult. Smaller children, small problems. Bigger children, bigger problems.
Okay. So no hard part.
No hard part, really. I mean, when I used to go, on holiday with them, I'd always take a Sharpie because everyone lost everything everywhere. And I used to write our room number on the goggles, flippers, shoes, everything. Yeah, that was hard.
What about the moment you gave Eleanor a sleeping pill and she was only 8?
That was not good. No,
what was that? Tell everyone about that.
They're not interested in that.
That's a good story. You went to Australia.
It was a long flight and we got to the hotel and I was tired and I thought, let's all go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I took a sleeping pill and I thought, and Eleanor was like, I'm not tired. I said, let me make you tired. So I gave her a little bit of a sleeping pill. And that is something you should not try at home because she went crazy.
Didn't she hallucinate?
Yeah, it was very bad.
Because how old was she?
No, not old enough.
7.
7. Don't do that. Just stick to the melatonin.
What do you think the hardest part of raising children is?
I think giving them equal love and attention. Mm-hmm. I at night go to bed and every night I think of what I've done with each of them.
It's slicing that cake.
Yeah. And I think, what could I do better? What do they need me for? And almost the ones you don't think about. I have one very easy child.
Who's that?
Nancy, and she gets missed because she's so easy and good. But yeah, look at the merch. But I think just constantly making sure you're giving as much as you can to everyone. But obviously the hardest part is working.
Do you think so? You would say everyone loves my mother. Do you think that our children say that too?
I would hope so.
They'll listen. Billy's already said he's going to start a podcast in 30 years called "Everyone Loves My Mother."
Well, Billy is in the room listening to this, so I'll take that as a mild love.
Yeah. You know what it should be called? Everyone Loves My Mother-in-Law.
Well, it's just a brilliant name. I mean, it's a
but
brilliant
let's
name.
go back to it. The truth is, raising children. I mean, we'll talk about this more with on the business episode, but really, raising children with a business is genuinely the hardest thing I've ever done.
No, because I didn't do that.
And there are moments that you almost need to wear mentally, like put on another outfit and go. I leave my office sometimes at 6, and I'm, you've had a quite rightfully exhausting day, and you're making big decisions, or you're planning huge collections, or you're working on a collab, and you have to walk into that house and be merry.
Yeah.
And be, if it's Halloween,
The mothership.
Yeah, finding that outfit, finding that kid's party bag, doing their reading. I mean, doing my son's reading with him, sometimes I want to pull my eyeballs out of my head when you're that tired, and it's like
But you do very, very well, Alice. You come in, you take your coat off, up you go.
So he might say, everyone loves my mother, but she's ripped her eyeballs out of her head.
Yeah, that's it. That is how I feel sometimes.
Lovely.
But what do you... I suppose no one really even knows us. Again, we've probably got one person listening. Your mother's probably still listening.
She won't be able to hear.
What do you do, Mum?
I'm the director of design at Mrs. Alice. You gave me that title.
I think you gave it to yourself.
No. I remember exactly where I was. I was in the pantry, and you said, we'd like you to work with us, and we're going to call you the director. I had to sort of stop myself from going to Smithson's and get, collaboration accepted, to get stationery printed with that. I've never even had it printed.
Okay.
So I'm the director of design.
And what is Mrs. Alice?
Mrs. Alice is I would like to say it's a homeware brand, more than a tableware brand. It started, it was your brainchild, we both have a passion for a beautiful table.
And a beautiful home.
But
But we're not trying to plug Mrs. Alice,
No, actually, apart from, I'll be selling these. You can DM me. There'll be a little bit more than you'd normally pay.
She'll also be selling her rollers, so...
No, but, there's no Mrs. Alice.
My husband's looking quite kind of fractious. I think that means we need to be doing something else.
What
something wrong.
What, the producer, have we done something wrong?
It's question o'clock.
Okay,
question
perfect.
O'clock. We're going to explain what question o'clock is that if you're kind enough to send us questions about our lives or something you'd like to know, they can be deep and meaningful, they can be frivolous about our hair. Yeah. We are here every week.
Keep it clean.
Every episode to answer them. Keep it clean. Mum, who are you?
I'm saying, just telling people to be careful. Is Tom going to read them out?
Tom's going to read them out.
Okay, good.
Because we weren't allowed those pieces of paper because they didn't look professional enough.
I can't believe I haven't got my piece of paper.
I want a computer here next time.
No,
I
I
want
don't
something
want
that
a
I can, No.
Okay, first
Go.
question.
Yeah.
What is the best thing about each other, and what is the worst thing?
The best thing
Mum's a life enhancer. She's like a magnet to people. Luckily, I think, weirdly, my daughter Nancy has that and they're born close. So I think Mum's a magnet and a life enhancer, but she also is a mother. We're talking about Everyone Loves My Mother, genuinely, because she's a mother to everyone. And like in the team, if people have problems, she becomes their mother. Friends, she's their mother. You're not just a mother to 4 children. You're a mother to a lot of us.
Well,
I'm
very
quite jealous.
No, I actually love people. I love people.
You do, in a way that
really
I don't.
do.
What do you love about me?
I was just trying to think. I was listening to what you were saying, and then I was trying to think how I was going to answer. What do I love about you? I love your strength. I admire you. Are an Aries. You're strong.
Is that a good thing?
You are.
Strength?
Yeah, no, you are. You're very strong. You're very driven. You're very determined. You never stop. She doesn't drink, which I have to say.
So
I think
time
helps.
to just like reel out loads of things about me.
No, but it's true. I think all those.
So you
things,
love
but
that I don't drink.
No, I hate that you don't drink, actually.
Yeah, that's a
but
big negative.
We both do, don't we, Tom?
Massive negative.
But I think that, you're very powerful and strong and determined, but with that, you have such a kind heart, and you are such a good friend, mother, daughter, aunt, cousin, whatever. You are.
Well,
I admire
that's
that.
good. That's very
And you will
kind.
go to all lengths to help people.
And the worst thing?
We don't have the time. What's next?
I'll tell you the worst thing. You throw your toys out of the pram
Why
so
not?
quickly. And then what you do is this thing called spiral.
Yeah, I
and
do
luckily
spiral.
within the team we know it. And you go round and round and round. And you worry about something before it's happened. And you also worry, like one of the best things my husband taught me is problems are there to be solved. And when I started going out with Tom, I had inherited your like spiraling thing. And Tom was like, let's just solve the problem. And you will be like, they're going to land and they're not going to have a car. And it's really hard to rent a car.
Because I'm worried about everyone all
and
the
it's
time.
a bank holiday and you're not going to be able to get a car.
But I want
and
Daisy Cave to get back home,
I
with
know, but
Oscar
you
in
worry,
time.
you worry about the problem that's
I
so
do.
hypothetical.
Luckily, Serena, another person solved that problem by inventing a car rental company.
Yeah, but I am the
But then
person-
she'll say it's a bank holiday. You're not even going to be able to rent a car. I mean, the word spiraling, you spiral beyond. And I do sometimes check myself and go, do not do that. But we have a code
one
now
thing
in
that
the
you
team.
say is you always say, and I'm just going to want everyone in the room to be quiet when I say this, because I know that people will agree when you say just quickly. that is the message to put the phone down, put the speaker on, the kettle on, because it isn't going to be quick.
Yeah, I know. I do things quickly and expect others to do that. So it is.
You
wrong
don't
of
do
me.
it quickly. It goes on for hours. But you
Okay.
start the conversation with just quickly.
Okay, I'll stop doing that. Tom wants another question.
Why
did-
doesn't Tom say what annoys him about you?
Yeah, good point.
Me?
Yeah, come on.
I think for the purposes of this podcast,
Be better not to.
nothing does. You are perfect in every way. Moving on. Why does everyone love your mother?
Oh, we've just done that. We've just done that.
We've
Do
just
another
done
one.
that.
Do another one.
Jesus.
Boring.
Okay. What's
Even
each
I'm
o-
bored by that now. It's only the first episode.
What's each other's oddest personal habit?
She drinks bottles of water in the shower.
How is that odd?
It is odd.
There are a million other things than I
Well,
do.
like what? All those vitamins you take, the colon... I took 3 of those colon cleansers you've got in your apartment in London. Let me tell you, they shouldn't sell them.
Can I say one thing that she
Shouldn't
does,
sell
which
them.
is odd, Serena? Whenever she sees a magpie, she
God, all
salutes.
that. Yeah, all that
every
saluting,
time.
jumping over things. She's very superstitious.
And
I
one
say
time a
hello, Mr.
magpie
Magpie.
flew over the car like 3 or 4 times, and she kept saluting like a
I
lunatic.
salute, and I do the sign of the cross.
Well, you should
Yeah.
be careful with the products you have in your because it's open to public use.
Yeah, I would say I'm actually trying to minimise how ismy I am. I'm very ismy. I don't walk on 3
Yeah.
things on the pavement. I don't like going to sleep when it's 13. I always have to go to sleep before the number 13.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
I ever wake up and it's 6:13, I'm like, it's going to be a really bad day.
You are very superstitious.
I hate
Wow.
that. I'm like, if I don't get through this green light, I'm not going to make myself
I have
target
that.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
be fat forever.
Mum, stop talking about being fat. It's not okay. But yeah, I'd like to. That's a goal of mine. I'd like to try and be less
Superstitious.
superstitious. Yeah.
Next question.
What have you learnt from each other?
To eat less.
Good answer.
You are.
I think just very simply. The problem is, if podcasts are like soppy,
No one's listening.
going to.
Alice, no one's listening.
No
I
one's listening
promise
anyway.
you that.
But I genuinely think
Hello?
that mothering comes from your mother. And I hope that I find mothering actually very easy because of the warmth I receive from you.
Oh, very sweet.
Yeah, I think that is what I have learned. I mean, I hopefully have also learned I've got your creative, we're like the only people in the world. I'll never forget, just to understand the kind of level of detail my mother and I like. We went to buy my second child a little bunny before she was born. And we knew she was going to be a girl. And we found these ones that they no longer make by Trouselier. And they were a little pink bunny with a white head, but they had a ruffled collar.
ruffled collar.
And do you remember we went through every single box to try and find the best ruffled collar.
Yeah.
No one else would get that.
It's actually exhausting.
We also dressed.
I'd
Do you
love to
remember
be
we
more
dressed babies, dolls, in what they would go
Totally
home
normal.
in from the
Totally
Wait,
normal.
let me explain. From the hospital,
of course.
so that we knew what the hospital look would be for the children.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
No, it's not a good thing, probably.
Oh,
actually.
really? Okay.
No, well, I think if anyone is listening, yeah, we might get a bit of slack on that one.
Any other questions, Tom?
Well, no.
Is that the end?
I think that we have reached what says on the
Capacity.
paper, the outro.
The outro.
Oh, yes, he keeps talking about that.
The outro. You have to forgive us. We are novices at this.
Yeah.
I think,
Completely
just
unprofessional.
before we go, I think you should describe words that you wouldn't use to describe this podcast?
Professional, slick,
Interesting.
interesting,
Amusing.
watchable,
Amusing.
amusing.
For full transparency, I've never listened to a podcast.
We know it has made this journey with the team
very
quite
difficult.
because we keep saying, but Alice, you haven't listened to a podcast. And we are now having our own podcast, which makes it more difficult.
Well, how badly? Who's done better, you or me?
Once again, I wouldn't like to say. But I would
Well,
like to say
anyway,
a tiny thing
if you-
about the name of the podcast.
If you've listened to the end, I don't understand what you
I
could do.
admire you.
I don't understand what you could do to make us like want to do this again. But if you were to listen next episode, we are going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about our fashion fails. We're going to talk about Mom keeping every size of clothes in her wardrobe.
It's true.
We're going to talk about my days at Vogue.
Yep.
We are going to talk about me painting sheep for my 30th birthday and wearing an iconic Gucci dress. But we're also going to talk about what are the basics that we live in.
Yeah,
That
core staples.
core
Yeah.
staples. It's going to be fashion in abundance. So if you were to tune in next
Well,
episode,
are we going to find out if anyone has listened?
Your mother, Serena.
Oh,
Our one
listen,
She can't
listener.
hear. What are you talking about? She's not
yeah, she's
counting.
actually deaf. That won't work. But thank you. Don't forget, everyone does love my mother. It's our new podcast, and we love you all. Thanks for listening.
Thank
If
you.
have.
Bye. If
If it
anyone's
isn't
still there,
Palmer,
bye.
Bye.
Bye, Palmer.